Here at the Trail Lakes Trailhead, getting ready to start my hike into the Wind River Range from the east side this time, in case the forecast doesn't look too good for the eclipse. That's the plan, is to go up Glacier Trail to Goat Flat and then head up that to Downs Mountain, then probably over to the Baker Lake area where I was last year, and then kind of scope around that area, see if I can find something that looks decent for a photo op that day. But if the weather is terrible or forecast doesn't look favorable, Saturday evening I will bail out on Sunday and drive out onto the Eastern Plains to hopefully still be able to see the eclipse. So that's the plan. Getting started at probably about 7:20 local time. Nice day so far, but supposedly you're going to have some showers today, and then the weather will clear up for a few days. But unfortunately, at least at this point, the forecast is looking for thunderstorms on Sunday evening and possibly some showers and partly sunny skies on Monday. But you know, anything can change very quickly out here, so we'll see how it goes. So far so good. I came up through that valley there, passed on the right side of that meadow. You might still be able to see the tents in the center of the frame right about there. I forgot to mention when I started that my total pack weight is just under 31 pounds with 7 full days of meals, a liter of water, and the camera gear I bought. I have 4 cameras, small ones, and 4 tripods, 3 of which are really tiny, my Pedco Ultrapod minis, and then one just El Cheapo one that I've borrowed from work. Also failed to mention that I had tweaked my knee the day before my trip, and had been kind of stiff and sore on the way out. But so far, things are working like it's supposed to, doing pretty well, so can't complain. I'm on the switchbacks, climbing out of this valley right now. It goes up to Bomber Lake. I pretty much made it out of the trees, for the most part. In about 2 3/4 hours, so not too bad for me, considering the only acclimation I've had was sleeping at the trailhead last night. My calves are feeling it, and sort of my, I don't know, glutes, I think. And I met some 4 guys that were just finishing off Skirka's high route, and they warned me it was extremely windy on Goat Flat, Downs Mountain. So I will camp short of the saddle of Downs Mountain, so probably somewhere up in those trees there. Especially considering that we're supposed to have some rain today. So I'll just take it easy. A beautiful yet brisk morning in the Wind River Range. Left camp right where the trail crosses this little creek right here, just after 8:30, heading up to the saddle. I made it to the saddle just under 11,000 feet in about an hour and a quarter, and now heading up to this saddle and then kind of over to the right side of that to get up onto Goat Flat. I cut it too far right, so I'm having to go across the snowfield. I should be like just on the other side of that ridge there. Thankfully, the snow is quite stable, because he'd go sliding off into the abyss if you started going and couldn't stop. Here's a good look at the Continental Divide from the east side. It's Downs Mountain right there. That one should be Yukon Peak. That one should be Klondike Peak, I think. And I don't know the rest because I haven't been there, but one of those out there would be Gannett, the tallest one. While I was taking a break before crossing No Man's Pass here, actually had a very light snow flurry. I decided that I'm going to stop on the other side of this pass here at the base of Downs Mountain. Not used to the elevation yet, so it's taking me a little longer to get here. I don't feel like pushing the last 4 miles to Baker Lake. I suspect the pass is aptly named because not many men would climb this pass. I think that's Downs Lake out there. Now I'm getting a bit of a late start this morning. It's a bit after 9 o'clock. Wind picked up last night, and I could see the clouds that were running across Downs Mountain were going quite fast, so I know it's going to be very windy up on the divide. So I was giving it a chance to warm up a little bit. It's about 42 degrees or so right now. The plan is to, you can't really see all of it, but roughly clear spot heading up that way, and it kind of goes around the ridge there to Saddle, and then maybe I'll go ahead and hit Downs Mountain. We'll see. But that's the plan for this morning, and then go south on the divide to Baker Lake. I'm curious to know how fast the wind's blowing. It's another cloudless day at Baker Lake. If I do not bail for the weather, I will be taking my Eclipse photos atop that little hill over there, most likely. Beautiful clear water, filtered by the moraine. Pretty impressive how big that is versus how small the glacier is nowadays. I have the nice sandy beach all to myself. I just won't call it tropical. As I was just sitting here thinking, got to realize that last year I came down that mountainside, right about where those two little snowfields are, to get here. Thought, man, that must be insane. Of course, it looks worse farther away than when you're up close. You always go slow and steady and just pick your way. But I sure wouldn't want to have to go up that. Man, the real reason I was thinking of doing a clip was because for the guys at work, Tim and Cole, we've been doing a push-up challenge, though it kind of fizzled out after a month or so. But I thought, well, let's see if I can do a set of 30 here. We're at over 11,700 feet. So we'll give it a go and see how it goes. Alright, how about some oxygen now? I did make it to Downs last night, though not as I expected. I'd followed the route that I had planned, but it turned out to be a little too far east, so I had to keep going uphill, and was going to try to go around that little mountain right there to go across the flatter snowfield, and I couldn't really tell if that was going to be a go or not, so I went ahead and went around the west side, contoured around that to get to the saddle. Then coming down that saddle, I went too low. I didn't go stay high and go across and then come down this ridge right here, and got into some pretty sketchy steep spots. Had a few slips. Luckily only scraped up some skin and whatever, and no damage to the backpack or equipment, anything like that. But ended up taking me pretty much the same amount of time as it took me going across the other way. I thought I'd save myself about an hour, but using my alternate route, but neither one of them really worked out. And coming down that nasty part really slowed me down. Though it was good because I was listening to Lord of the Rings Two Towers, so that kept me in a nice frame of mind, dealing with all that junk. But the sun is up now. I'm ready to get out of here and head back to the trailhead. But you can see some of the smoke that we were being warned about out in the distance there. I made it out from the base of Downs Mountain in 7 3/4 hours. So all total that would have been 13 3/4 from Baker Lake. So actually it was on par with those through hikers that I think I mentioned near the start. The Eclipse was incredible, awesome. Glad I was able to do it. Glad we missed the very first part of the partial. It was kind of cloudy, but after, I don't know, maybe 20-30 minutes, it was perfectly clear skies. So it worked out great to see it in such an awesome location. And I'm glad I'm out and glad to be going home.